Have you ever felt that relentless pressure? That feeling of looking over your shoulder, constantly sizing yourself up against someone else? Maybe it's a coworker who just got the promotion you wanted, a friend whose life on social media looks picture perfect, or even a sibling who always seemed to be one step ahead. We've all been there, trapped in that exhausting, endless race against others. But what if I told you that race is a phantom? That the only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday? Let me tell you a story about a young woman named Maya. Maya was a talented artist, but she lived in the shadow of a giant. From the moment she could hold a brush, everyone compared her to her grandfather, a celebrated painter whose work hung in prestigious galleries. "You have his eyes," they'd say, "but do you have his gift?" Every stroke of her brush felt heavy, weighed down by the expectation to be as good as him or even better. She spent years trying to replicate his style, his success, his everything. She studied his techniques, copied his subjects, and entered the same competitions he had won decades ago. But every time she fell short, the criticism was always the same. It's good, but it's not him. Her art became a source of anxiety, not joy. The canvas, once her playground, became a courtroom where she was perpetually judged and found wanting. She was competing against a ghost, a legend, and she was losing. One evening, after another crushing rejection, Maya was packing up her studio, ready to give up for good. She was surrounded by canvases of imitation, pale echoes of her grandfather's brilliance. Frustrated, she grabbed a blank canvas and without thinking, just started painting. She didn't paint a grand landscape or a stoic portrait. She painted the mess of her studio, the scattered tubes of paint, the tear-stained rag in her hand, the frantic, chaotic energy of her own despair. She poured all her frustration, her disappointment, and her feeling of inadequacy onto that canvas. It was messy, it was raw, it was emotional, and it was completely, undeniably asterisk her asterisk. When she was done, she stepped back, breathless. For the first time, she didn't see her grandfather's work. She saw her own. She saw a story. Her story. That night was a turning point. Maya stopped looking at her grandfather's paintings. Instead, she started looking inside herself. She started keeping a visual journal, not of perfect compositions, but of her daily life, her feelings, her dreams. Her art transformed. Her colors became bolder, her lines more expressive. She wasn't trying to be the next great master. She was just trying to be a better artist than she was the day before. She started a new project, painting 365 small canvases, one for each day of the year. Some days the paintings were simple sketches. Other days they were complex and layered. Some were joyful, some were melancholic. But every single one was a step forward in her own journey. She was no longer racing against her grandfather's legacy. She was in a gentle, creative marathon with herself. A year later, a local gallery owner stumbled upon her blog where she'd been posting her daily paintings. He wasn't interested because she was the granddaughter of a famous artist. In fact, he didn't even know. He was captivated by the raw honesty, the unique voice, and the sheer volume of growth he saw from painting number 1 to painting #365. He offered her a solo exhibition, not of grand masterpieces, but of her entire year-long journey. The show was called 365 Days of Me. It was a massive success. People didn't just see paintings. They saw a story of self-discovery. They saw vulnerability and resilience. They saw the beauty in the process, not just the final product. Maya found her success not by defeating her grandfather's ghost, but by embracing her own reflection. She realized her only true competition was the Maya from yesterday, the one who was afraid to pick up a brush, the one who doubted her own voice. And every single day, she was winning. Think about your own life. Who are you competing against? A colleague? A perfect influencer on Instagram? An idealized version of who you think you should be? This constant comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, it steals your focus, and it steals your unique potential. The truth is, you are on your own unique path. Their starting line isn't your starting line. Their finish line isn't your finish line. Their journey has nothing to do with yours. When you focus on someone else's race, you're running on their track, playing by their rules. You lose sight of your own strengths, your own passions, your own definition of success. So, how do you shift your focus? How do you start competing only with yourself? It begins with self-awareness. Just like Maya, you need to take an honest look at where you are right now. Acknowledge your strengths, but also be honest about your weaknesses without judgment. This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about creating a clear starting point. Your day one canvas. What is one small thing you can improve tomorrow? Not become the best in the world tomorrow, but be slightly better than you are today. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book. Maybe it's going for a 5-minute walk. Maybe it's simply being a little kinder to yourself. Next, track your progress. Keep a journal. Take pictures. Document your journey. When you look back a week, a month, or a year from now, you won't be comparing yourself to others. You'll be comparing your current self to your past self, and you will be amazed by how far you've come. This is where true motivation comes from. Not from envy, but from evidence of your own growth. This creates a powerful feedback loop. You see progress, which fuels your motivation, which leads to more action, which results in more progress. You become your own source of inspiration. And most importantly, celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Did you overcome the urge to procrastinate? Celebrate it. Did you finally finish that small task you've been putting off? Celebrate it. Maya's journey wasn't about one grand masterpiece. It was about 365 small, consistent efforts. Our culture often only glorifies the finish line, the final trophy. But the real magic, the real life, happens in the steps along the way. Each small victory is a confirmation that you are moving forward. You are winning your personal race. Remember, the person you were yesterday is your benchmark. The person you are today is your competitor. And the person you become tomorrow is your prize. This is the most important competition you will ever be in, and it's the only one you can truly win. Stop looking over your shoulder. The race is forward. Look at the road ahead, focus on your next step, and run your own beautiful, unique, and magnificent race. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more content to help you on your journey. I do love to hear in the comments below, what is one small step you are going to take to compete with yourself tomorrow? Take care and keep growing.